Tekken World Tour 2023 has finally concluded, and with that, Tekken 7 is over. I'm sure there are other side events that will come up, but in terms of official Bandai Namco, like sanctioned events, this is the last one. And we'll be going into Tekken 8 in less than 11 days. This event was great to go to in person. It was in New Orleans, if you don't know, and it felt like a graduation. People from fans to competitors to world-class players all got together. There was an after party. We were hanging out. We all went to the event, obviously, and it really felt like we all got to close out Tekken 7 in a really meaningful way. This game has had so many... It's been a roller coaster of emotions, you know? Like, many people hate the game, like old heads hate the game for what they've done to it, and new people have gotten frustrated at like regular Tekken frustrations, but it's undoubtable to say that this game is why so many people have come to the Tekken party. So we're all in a unique emotional position where we were ready to say goodbye to it, but not exactly, you know, we were reflecting on all the positives that we got out of it. And that created a very unique, great vibe. But that's not the entire point of this video. Now, if you've been under a rock, you may not know that Arslan Ash is your TWT champion. This is his 5th world title, 4 Evos, and this is his first Tekken World Tour Finals. He played incredibly out of his mind with resilience, confidence, and this sense of poise that was noticeably just not there from the other players. I think everybody in this bracket was feeling the pressure of this being the final event. And you could see so many people crumble under that pressure, but Arslan held strong. And that's not to say he didn't make mistakes. That's to say that in the face of those mistakes, he continued to show a confident game plan, a confident approach, and to believe in his reads, and the result showed. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about his grand final match. I'll leave that running, but I want to share something that, well, he told me not to share until after the tournament was over. So I've told this story a million times. Let me pull up the gameplay with him versus CBM. Good Lord, my voice is gone. I was really screaming nonstop. As you can see, CBM's Noctis made it all the way to the grand final. And as a Noctis player myself, I was more or less a little bit hype about that. The sets were absolutely like nail biting. They were so close together, and it was kind of interrupted. It was kind of unreal to think that my character, this Final Fantasy guest character, may have had a solid chance of actually winning the entire thing. Completely surreal. So let me pull up these matches, but that's the interesting part. I'll tell you a story while these matches are running. We're going to get a proper analysis, of course. These are not the proper notes for that. As you can see, I just got home. I am frazzled. Tekken 7 2023. Last tournament. Noctis versus Katarina. I'm not going to do too much analysis here because I think that the full extent of the matchup is not fully covered here. But as you can tell by this description, Arslan Ash pulls out a surprise pick in Katarina. Now for the story. As you know, he and the other former EVO champions went to Burbank, California for the EVO 2023 showcase. They played Tekken 8. This was back in like November. I've done a bunch of analyses on those matches, and I decided to just show up. I wasn't part of the event. I wasn't affiliated, but I knew that all these world-class players would be present and not competing in a serious tournament. It was just an exhibition. And because they were there for so long, I figured they'd have so much downtime and nowhere really to go. Why don't I just pull up to the hotel and bring a setup and try and stream it? And that's what I did. On the first day, Arslan came up. We couldn't get the stream up. But he ended up asking me so many questions about Noctis. He played some Noctis himself. And we kind of worked on different ideas for how he could counter Noctis. So he's fighting CBM here. This is not their first time fighting. In Cape Town Showdown, I think is what it was called. This tournament occurred in September, and CBM beat Arslan with Noctis. So Arslan, by the time we met up, had been trying to come up with the Katarina answer for at least 2 months. Or, sorry, a Noctis answer for at least 2 months. And he arrived at, wow, what a rage art. He arrived at Katarina and Julia as his 2 picks. He felt that And I agree that Kunimitsu versus Noctis is not the best matchup. I think that Kuni's strengths lie in the ability to deny the opponent the consistent ability to hit her, right? Because her backdash is so big, because her body is so small, you have to really dash in if you want to hit her. If you're trying to hit her while she's backdashing, she has insane counter hits with set 2, safe mid counter hit launcher. She has her regular 2-2, which is so fast and tracking that you pretty much only can block it. And she has a massive jab. Once you decide to respect all those things, she has the ability to employ a disgusting full crouch mix-up and just play a really compact, low-risk game in general. So, excuse me. My voice is long gone. This is a... Appreciate y'all watching regardless. Nice block on the snake edge. Kunimitsu, although a very strong character, no longer gains her strengths when Noctis just has a sword that can track her. CBM going for a hard read there on a down forward 2. Did not pay off. So, when we played a bunch of matches, looking back on it, you know, with CBM being one of my heroes, I almost feel like I betrayed the Noctis community by helping Arslan figure it out. And it wasn't that I was like, Arslan, I need you to win, let's do this. It was more like, I want to learn how to make my Noctis better, right? So if I play against the best in the world and talk about what he's looking at as counterplay, it would probably make me better. So that was my plan. And it was, I messaged him after the tournament. I said, would you say that our session helped? I don't want to lie if it's not true. And he just said, it's your personality. Go ahead and say it. So I have his blessing to claim that my training helped him. Whether it's true or not will be known only to him. But it sounds like probably, you know, he would have been fine. What was interesting is that in the finals, Arslan actually picked Noctis. So it wasn't just that he was coming up with answers to the character. I think he believed in the character's strength. He did not end up winning with the character, but many of the people I talked to, including Lohai, Ni, and a few other people, found Noctis really annoying to deal with, especially in a competitive setting. One little thing Arslan likes to do, is something you just saw, is he doesn't try to play big mids into Harrier like while standing 1-1. What he does is he does this full crouch, and instead of... A lot of people go into full crouch here, and they'll play like a launching mix-up. She has the while standing 2, and she has the big power low that's -14 if you block it. Arslan prefers to play this 3-3-3. The reason is because it's hit confirmable, so she does so many kicks before you have to commit to the unsafe part. And if you want to transition into Harrier, where she dashes forward, you aren't at risk of getting ducked. If she does while standing 1-1, you'll see CBM later in the set will duck it on reaction to the first hit. So that string, the 3-3-3-3-3 out of while standing, covers many of the weaknesses that Katarina would traditionally have. So let's note that down as part of the strategy. Arslan prefers hit confirm while standing 3-3-3-3-3. Go into Harrier stance. Can go into Harrier full crouch and repeat the situation, right? Because out of full crouch, you can do the while standing 3-3-3 again. It's a really, really hilarious kind of thing. And what you'll see, I think, throughout this gameplay is he's not playing a very diverse strategy with his Katarina. He's not playing this very in-depth game plan. What he's doing is cutting it down to the very bare bones. What makes her so hard to fight against, right? -1 down forward 1. Or 13 frame down forward 1. -1 on block. Insane movement. Hop kick. Magic 4. All of these tools make her really, really hard to deal with. And then he loves using this 3-3-3. Did you guys see that earlier here? Rewinding a couple secs. This is before he gets counter hit. Here, 1-1, 3-3-3, right? It's so you can't move around it. You can go into stance. CBM does a little sidestep right duck, and he just chooses to do nothing. And that creates so much pressure because it was a free hitbox into pressure that the opponent got no reward for defending in this situation. And if you choose to make a read later, you could die for it. So CBM instead trying to snipe with the forward 1+2 before Katarina can even get in there, because making strictly defensive reads on Katarina is possible, but very, very hard, especially in a literally world-class tournament setting where nerves are ridiculously high, but the body is kind of deteriorating under the stress of this long, multi-day tournament. And that factor can't be understated. When I fought in the Last Chance qualifier the first day, even in the top 5, 4, and 3 matches, the downtime between sets was really getting to me. Like, the ability to refocus and stay in the zone and play my game plan cleanly was so difficult. So you imagine these players had played they were sitting in this venue for about 8 to 9 hours. And lots of downtime because every match was streamed. So that's probably one of my favorite traits of Arslan, is how he is traveling internationally. These flights are brutal. He's putting his body and mind on the line every time, and he demonstrates such a consistent amount of play. Nothing complicated here, just delaying the rage drive a little bit to catch that sidestep right. 3-3-3. The 3-3-3 string is so good, man. That might even be the #1 thing he likes to abuse about the character. And the reason I'm not going too into depth here is because I want to highlight our training. So after this, I'm going to show you the VODs that he asked me not to publish. But this was it was a weird moment watching this in the audience, because I was like, on one hand, I was like, look at how proficient he is. Like, I feel like that was partially because we fought. Look at how proficient he is in fighting Noctis. And on the other hand, I'm like, damn, I thought it'd be really cool if Noctis would win. I hope CBM can do it. In general, for the whole tournament, I felt like I could not cheer for any single person in particular. It felt like everybody who lost gave me pain, you know? All their stories ending. Obviously not literally ending. They have Tekken 8, but it was kind of a very decisive loss for a lot of these. There's no next tournament, you know? CBM doing a good job of not eating Magic 4. Arslan not really throwing it out, which is nice. But this whole poking back and forth is a fascinating game where you don't see a lot of movement. Katarina's down forward 1 is advancing. The jab is advancing. But Noctis can't really backdash it, so instead he's fighting back. This was the reaction CBM did that I was talking about. Katarina ducks and does while standing 1-1. And on reaction to that hit, CBM ducks the second and launches the stance. Really, really good stuff. Goes for the position change. Max damage. Best Okazemi. Roll 1. And CBM not doing so bad on this infinite stage. Denying Katarina the wall, I think, is a really good idea. That 3-3 is ridiculous. Nice duck on the 1, but it was too slow. And counter hit again. CBM gets on the board. Very, very well played. And now here is where I think the Arslan clutch and composure and poise is really on display. So you saw them feeling each other out. I don't know if CBM has ever played Arslan's Katarina. I know that Arslan has fought CBM's Noctis, obviously, but I don't know if he's fought it with the Katarina. So I think they've had a few games to feel each other out, and now you'll see a bunch of reads come out. Down forward 1-1, dash, nothing. 3-3-3, nothing. Down forward 1, down 4. Arslan not too afraid of getting low parried. He is just putting out pokes on slightly different timings. He's really, really good at being ambiguous about his mid-low game. That's a very strong Pakistani staple. And there the Magic 4 finally comes out but trades. CBM insisting on the back 2. And if you try to counter the back 2, he does forward 1+2. Both game plans here are so compact, minimal, and basic. They're as hard to deal with as possible, but they're not a super sophisticated or complex. Arslan goes into stance and hits CBM low. You'll see that a lot of players were abusing CBM's willingness to take a bunch of lows. Right? He prefers to move around, find whiffs and counter hits, because again, if he finds one big back 2, look how much health she had, man. He just moved around until he found an opportunity to throw the back 2. I'm going frame by frame. Yep. And Katarina tried to hit the standing 3. So CBM had a good read on his timing. And it was lethal. CBM is really, really good at it. CBM talked to me, actually. He said that Noctis back 2, he feels he uses it like Jin's forward 4. That his timing comes from that idea of realigning it and baiting people with your movement to think they can attack and then getting, kicked and counter hit launched. In Noctis' case, it's a poke, but it's faster, right? So that's the exchange. CBM is getting his jab sidestepped a bit, but not getting destroyed for it, so it's fine. That happened back here, right? Arslan loves doing down forward 1 sidestep. This is something I noticed in our sets. He'll use Katarina's down forward 1, which is again -1 on block, and advancing. So it puts you in a block situation. He can do a very quick sidestep without really exposing himself because Noctis doesn't have fast tracking that's really dangerous, right? The best thing he could do in that situation is 2-2, down 3, or down 2, and that's not enough damage to deter you. Same thing here, down forward 1, sidestep, little duck, sorry, and then he'll do a sidestep right here. So he's constantly locking down the neutral. He could get damage with the poke, and then your next decision, he is going to try to make a low commitment outplay on. So he'll duck a high, he'll sidestep a quick poke like this jab, but because it's a jab, he doesn't get a nice punish or anything like that. What makes Katarina really nice though is if he chooses to not, or if he can't get that big punish, say he throws the jab here, he can transition straight into stance and then pressure again. So it's not easy for CBM to play this disengagement, find another poke, find another counter hit. The pressure can continue to go on unless you make a good defensive read. There he down back threes the Harrier stance, and that situation will come back to haunt him. Keep an eye on that one. Katarina spamming the down forward ones to deny Noctis other options, right? You have to block. And then I can play 3-3-3 Harrier. So simple, so effective. Down back 3. I talked to Nee about the move. He said it's unseeable. And I know I'm not blocking it. And there the sidestep right really pays off. That was what I was trying to highlight here. After this low hits, while standing 4. That while standing 4, you guys, if you don't know, that while standing 4 is absolutely ridiculous. It's a -3 while standing 4. So what that means is her magic 4 gains so much potency, but also her sidestep right. Her sidestep right is powered up because she has more frames to move, right? So let me pull up frame data bot here. So anyways, this is a powered up sidestep right. It can get more evasion. CBM throws a 1-2, and with that extra whiff, Arslan finds the 3-3-3-3-3, and then a down forward 1 to kill. Not a lot of pokes as mix-ups, but pokes as lockdown. Katarina while standing 4. And that while standing 4 is even more effective because she's always coming out of full crouch, right? Like her stance can go into crouch. Ooh, that was a sidestep that got turned into a jump. Little nice moment for CBM. Mini wall splat situation. Very hard to get any kind of really technical combo on the big stage. So the fact he got good damage like that is great. Harrier stance into nothing. And this is a great lesson I think players of every level can take. You don't always have to commit to your stance attack. 3-3-3 stance, nothing. That is even more obnoxious than having to deal with a 50-50 every time, right? It's the fact that you chose to block, nothing happened, and then you swing again and might die. Amazing sidestep right on the 4-4-4. He sidestepped right the first magic 4 attempt, right? He stepped here after his jab, saw that Arslan continued the string, and stepped again. Very nice defensive presence of mind from CBM. Not the best combo. Unfortunately, not much he could have done with that sidewall, to be honest. And now the down back 3 hitting again. So much damage. Down forward 1 lockdown. He blocked the second one. That was huge. That was a huge block. And now you can see the reads really coming out. Down 2 counter hit. Katarina also having... This is another Noctis matchup quirk. Very strong counter hit options in mid-range. That counters Noctis's sword moves. At risk of... His sword moves are at risk of dying. That's basically what that is. CBM goes for a huge read, and it costs him his life. CBM likes to go for this, where if you put him in crouch, he'll force a while standing 2-2 to catch you moving into him. But Arslan is aware and plays it safe by just playing the frames, keeping it solid. Down by 3. 4-4-1+2. Nice low parry. For all the down forward ones Arslan has been doing, that's a surprising low parry to me, but it was very good from CBM. These down back 3s, he can be stubborn about it. And that's Arslan. I spoke about his confidence. It comes out in the form of this weird flexible stubbornness where you'll beat one of his options and he'll keep doing it. And then it might suddenly vanish when you least expect it. All right, huge lead for CBM, but that counter hit Harrier 1 is devastating. That counter hit Harrier 1 was... Look at this. Look at how much health he had. Devastating. If that happens again, he's 1 hit from death. Rage Drive is gone, though. 1-4. Down forward 1. Look at this crouch. Arslan crouched a potential up forward 1 from CBM right here. He hard ducked to see if he could get underneath it. Then he continues his pressure. Down forward 1. The sidestep right. Down forward 1. Sidestep right, beating the down forward 1 from Noctis. CBM finishes the string thinking Arslan would try to punish the whiff, but Arslan, the flexible stubbornness. He was stubborn enough to continue stepping right, but flexible enough to not swing. Split second decision that puts him in this amazing position. CBM doesn't get the kill with the low. It's a last hit situation. 3-3-3. I told you how Harrier, responding to Harrier with down back 3 would come back to bite him. And Katarina's new low where she jumps over other lows to do her own was a very effective choice. Arslan had not shown that in almost the entire set. I believe that was the first time he did that in the set. So saving that incredible low for when he really needed it was really, really good. You saw that, again, his stance usage is often doing nothing. He would rather force you to attack at a bad time and hit this 3-3-3 than go for stance mix-ups over and over and get killed. And he also, I think, recognizes that, A, Koreans probably do not have the tendency to mash when the stance comes out, right? Because the weakness of going stance into nothing is that you can get hit. But a Korean is not likely to just throw a launcher in that situation. And on top of that, Noctis is even less likely to do it. His hop knee is 17 frames. It's slower than normal hop kick. And his down forward 2 is launch punishable on block. So if he makes a bad call out, he can die for it or be too slow and get punished. Which is why Arslan prefers to not play the mix-up game, not risk getting counter hit. Just dash, do nothing. Dash, do nothing. CBM playing a lot of forward movement here, trying to generate different timings, find a new point of pressure. How can he get Arslan to respond? But Arslan just chills out in that situation, and now they're kind of back to their default gameplay. No, CBM rolling. Arslan never committing to the super unsafe option. The most unsafe thing he did was the Harrier 1. Nice punish on the spear. Huge presence of mind to duck this back 1-2. CBM messing up the punish, but Arslan not getting a big punish on that himself. But he's undeterred. You will see that his game plan immediately resumes to what he was doing. Down forward 1, sidestep. Down forward 1, sidestep. 3-3-3. Magic 4 attempt. There's the down forward 1s again. Yep, the down 2 was a good choice. There it is. Stance nothing into full crouch mix. Against Katarina like this, you have to make a few more committal defensive decisions, I believe, as Noctis. And in our 1-to-5 set, you will see that. Nice counter hit forward for 1+2. I was on the edge of my seat, bro. I was standing at the front of the stage, like my head in my hands. I was like, oh man, this is so intense. Big counter hit knee. Nice back 2. That one's huge. Counter hit attempts. Remembering that CBM mashed last time. So he's trying a counter hit attempt here. Forward movement, but no attack commitment. Doesn't want to get counter hit. Doesn't want to get low parried. Just moving in to see if he can get CBM to respond. This was unfortunate. CBM got a good sidestep on a poke after the down forward 1. But traded the back 2 so he didn't get the lethal confirm. It would have killed. This one is also unfortunate. Arslan running 3-3-3 into nothing. And then playing that delay with the full crouch move. Counter hitting CBM's down back 1. Look at how locked in Arslan is. Look at how locked in CBM is. They're so focused. No visible signs of stress. Huge. Then this is the call out I was talking about he needed. And CBM does occasionally do this, right? Ducking in response and then ripping the wall standing 2-2. Not letting Arslan get away with having less frames, right? It's, of course, scary to get counter hit. But sometimes it's a call out you need to make to force your opponent to pick a different option. Back 2. Down back 3. Look at the damage. Not many reads made here by CBM, but a huge reward. This is 1 while standing 2-2. Right? Side roll does not pay off. But he doesn't need it. He finds 1 back 2 after this, I believe. Or down 3. No, 1 back 2 and a down 3. And now suddenly Arslan's at a 3rd health. 1 combo, 1 down 3, 1 back 2. It does not take a lot. And you might be wondering why this analysis might matter to you if the game is over. I think it's good that we keep flexing our analysis muscles. Incredible Magic 4. Back to +6. 20 frame low is not fast enough to beat the 11 frame Magic 4. I still can't believe they gave her an 11 frame Magic 4. Nice down forward run from CBM. Arslan would love to put the game away here. He would rather not have to deal with a reset bracket or a final game situation. So what does he start running? Immediate timing offense nonstop. No more moving around. No more playing with timings. I'm going to go at you because you clearly have not been willing to counter hit me. And if you are trying to counter hit me, I will sidestep to the right when I can. Whiff punish. Mix up. Immediate down forward one to check, and then mix up again. You punish me, I'll block one thing, I'll go again. Forward dashing again, watching the up forward one, and the forward 1 plus 2, and a extremely clutch block. Last hit situation. Down forward ones to check, and then 1-4 to kill. He did it. And his reaction here is so beautiful. He starts tearing up. Pakistan showing up in the crowd. The Pakistani fans here were really cool too. I got to meet some of these people, and they were very, very polite, very nice. And they showed up for Arslan. This was really, really incredible. This was the one title that he was missing. He got plenty of Evos, but never a Tekken World Tour final. And to get the final one to close it out is so fitting. So that was incredible. Let me pull up my secret training with Arslan Ash. This is what I think was some of the coolest experiences I've had playing him. So let me find these. Check this out. I'll have to mute it because the audio has some other music in there. But it's not like we were talking too much. The only funny things I think about this situation is Arslan would do things like he would like say Katarina's moves. He would hit the throw and go ha ha ha. Like, it was really dorky, really funny, but it was fun. So first stage reroll infinite. We played a bunch of first to fives, and something I really liked about the Pakistani training style is they don't just play games nonstop. They play structured first to fives. It creates those tension points of when you're about to lose. It creates a constant place of focus where you need to understand adaptations. It creates that meta game. If you just play endless sets over and over and reads and circles, it's easy to get lost, but they keep it together. So you see that my style is a little different from CBM's, so that's why there's a chance it's not that useful. I play a lot more 2-2. I want to, kind of like how Arslan controls with his down forward 1, I like to control from range with the 2-2. There I get a sidestep right against the while standing 3-3. This is generally not a common thing to do, but I have so much Katarina experience that I'm pretty comfortable with these situations. So after that low hits, you can do a sidestep right. It's hard to go for a launch, so I just go for a quick poke to knock him out of it. He goes unsafe. I just take my frames back 2. Power crush, no good. Rage drive, 2-2-2. I played out of frame, and Arslan chose to play in frame. These sets were super, super fun, man. Like, when you fight somebody who's so much better than you, and you choose to be open to the mind games and the experience, you don't just try to like straight up. Well, I mean, you could try to cheese them out and you'll still learn. But I think interacting with how they play the game can give you so much to learn from. I got no reactions. And then he clips me out of my forward movement with that. Forward 2-3 from Katarina. Or 2-4. I just whiff. Yep, Arslan was so fun to play, and I resisted the urge to upload these early because he asked me, if somebody's preparing for a tournament, it sucks to have your stuff leaked early. And I know Arslan is one of the most studied players in the world, but when he's picking a new character like this, that's even more devastating, right? Because he doesn't have the time to build up deep intuition with the character. He's playing it for one effective strategy and is trying to leverage that as much as possible. Nice blow. I could never hit a demo man on him, man. I could never, ever hit a demo man on Arslan. Blue stuff. Does he kill me here? Down forward 1. Keeps it simple and then goes low when I'm doing nothing. Quick rematches offline. I forgot. I thought this was an online set. I'd have to skip a bunch. So you'll see that. Oh, what the heck? Video corrupted? That was weird. Oh, just a player. So yeah, sometimes, oh. Okay, so it's still there. Big whiff punish. No way, is this video just scuffed? That's tough if that's the case. My 2-2 back 2 misses. He gets a while standing 2. We're not missing too much, I don't think. Nice punish on the 2-2-4-2. And there we can see, this is the idea I was pitching before, where he does a lot of stance into nothing. And that makes it really hard to counter it defensively because your defensive option against it is committal. You are choosing to spend frames doing your sidestep right duck or whatever defensive choice you pick. And there, this was beautiful from Arslan. He runs up and just uses his forward movement to bait my attack. Just dashes, then plays sidestep right on the read, and whiff punishes the up forward one. So clearly he had already been prepared in anti-Noctis movement, choosing sidestep right against up forward one and down forward one and things like that. And there he's choosing sidewalk left to beat the 2-2. So Arslan is not unprepared in the Noctis matchup whatsoever. But the fact that this character can play so many different styles makes it really, really hard to defend against. Forward for 1+2. My forward for 1+2s, because of my gameplay, are not as good as CBM's, but my up forward ones tend to have a bit more success. My 2-2s are pretty successful. And but here, that counter hit Harrier one is absolutely devastating. Every time. That move is actually ridiculous if you really think about it. I think it's strange that Katarina never came back. This is something I do. This is stylistic to me. Down forward one, up forward one. Often, if I am getting sidestep to the right, I will switch to different options. But players tend to get hit by that a lot because I tend to play very inactive. I might do down forward one backdash. And because they want to chase my backdash, they follow up and swing by running in. I say this all the time. If you run in, it causes your move to be slower, makes you get counter hit, or it puts you at risk of getting counter hit. Yeah, scoreboard up top, but as you can see in the bottom right, Arslan had been kind of bodying me, and this is kind of the pattern for most of our training sessions together. I believe I have the full sets uploaded on my VODs channel, but so if you want to just watch them straight through, they'll be available there. But I wanted to go through them here and just kind of reflect on the privilege to fight the world-class player like this. With like one-on-one time, his schedule was free. He wasn't preparing for a tournament. He wasn't having to save his energy. And then just having the conversations with him about these characters and what we think is effective and strong, you know. Even though he is world class, he is humble and willing to ask a lot of questions to make sure he understands what's happening. He never says, this is how it is, this is how it is. He says, I think this. I think you should do this. I think you should do this. He's very, very, very gracious in how he chooses to think about the game. And I think that's really, really cool. I think that there are so many egos in every walk of life, honestly. And having one of the GOATs, one of the best players in the world be so humble is a great way to model oneself. So I'll play a little bit more of the footage. You can basically see that he is getting really comfortable, I think, fighting on Infinite, running his poke patterns around Noctis's counter hit patterns. You can see that he never tried to do that thing against CBM. And part of that, you know, it's a first to 5 set, not tournament, but also against the backdash style that Noctis prefers, it's just not worth the risk. Noctis isn't going to swing back at you with a hitbox that's going to die to that move. He's going to wait for you to whiff it or throw a high coverage move that kills it. So he starts making small optimizations throughout. You'll notice that after down back 1+2 here. Did I go 10 seconds back? I do a down back 1+2 here. He challenges. And in the CBM set, he almost never does, right? He did a little sidestep right something and got hit by a 1-2. Against CBM, he never did that. And I think it's because he understood more and more that, like, if you're not eating back 2 or a counter hit, Noctis is not doing that much damage to you. And unlike other characters, Katarina's fast jab, fast advancing jab, and fast advancing down forward 1 allow her to contest his range 0 very well when you splash in the magic 4 and her really good movement. So Katarina, even though she can die, like every other character to up forward 1, has this unique trait of almost out-dominating Noctis in the up-close fight. Noctis is no slouch in range 0 brawling. He's not exceptional, but he's not bad. But Katarina having that magic 4 and the honestly magic movement kind of amps up her side of the game a lot. That said, I still think that this playing the close range against Katarina is more effective. Or kind of like a bit more either super far mid-range or the close range. The reason I say that is because she has all these counter hits. She has the counter hit down 2 that goes into stance. And that is annoying to joust with when you're just poking her. If you're poking her and she's counter hitting you, you lose the damage race. Oh, there we go. He blocked it down 2, just like in the finals. You lose the damage race if you are trading pokes with counter hits. But up close, you have the chance to find your own counter hits, right? She does too, but at least you mitigate some of her other counter hit advantage. Yes, Noctis is forward 1+2, but Katarina has different frames she can play her counter hits at with the big mid knee, the down 2. If you're hesitating because of full crouch like that, she can counter hit with the low. So I think it's crucial for Noctis to find these open counter hits like this, where Katarina goes for a mix-up, right? This 3-3-3. 3-3-3. I play sidestep right. So now we're both doing nothing. And we're both kind of like, okay, if somebody threw out a hitbox here, we might get hit. So that's where that point of hesitation comes from. And I think Noctis has good windows in these situations to find the up forward 1 when Katarina wants to resume her down forward 1 pressure, her jab pressure, or things like that. On the flip side, Katarina can magic 4 as well. In every situation, Noctis might find that up forward 1. She could just choose to magic 4. But magic 4 being a high and -12 has more risks to it than, say, a mid counter hit safe launcher, right? That goes into stance. Her magic 4 thing that goes into stance gives her less frame advantage than the mid counter hits. So in general, I have found a lot more consistency fighting Katarina up close. Hey, and if you get a nice place running 1+2, Arslan puts his face in his hands. If you get a nice placement on this and she's stuck in stance, she can only exit the stance and crouch. So he's trying to get out and block, but it hits anyways. I think that will be my one claim to fame this set, because it goes 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, and 1-5. I think this is the one game I won against Arslan in our whole sets playing. Maybe I think I maybe won 3 games. 2. No, I'm lying. Our very first Katarina set. Let's see if I can find that in my files. Our very first Katarina set, I think I maybe won like 3 games total, and then he wiped me for the rest of the evening. This is Julia. This is Katarina. We rolled a lot of infinite. I can't remember if that was on purpose or if that's because he was training for counterpick against CBM. But oh yeah, this was the day before we did the live stream. He was letting me call the tech support because we wanted to fix the internet and get live streaming. There we go. Oh yeah, so almost every set went like 1-5 and he would body me. This dude is actually so incredible, not just in tournament sets, but in his first to 5s. And it makes sense because that's how they train. They train always playing a set. I noticed that too when I got to play Atif. I got the privilege to warm up with Atif and Arslan on the day of the Last Chance qualifier. And I'll tell more of that story in that video. This one has gone on quite long enough. So I'll upload these sets to my side channel if for some reason you want to watch a bunch of Tekken 7 first to 5s. They were pretty chill, pretty fun. But yes, on one hand, I felt like a traitor to my Noctis friends and my country. Well, not my country, but like I felt so, my style has been so built on studying the Koreans that it felt very weird to go against that in this situation, right? Obviously, it's not that deep. I was just trying to get some training. But I remember sitting up at the stage and seeing Arslan do some crazy optimized anti-Noctis and just being like, damn, did I do this? Like, my fault, CBM. So, but shout outs to Arslan. Incredible way to win. Very generous use of his time to play with me a bunch and share his ideas and share his skills. And Tekken 7 was a great experience. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. Next videos will probably be a recap of my LCQ matches. I want to cover Ulsan's matches from the TWT. They'll be a bit longer videos because we got to crank all of these out before Tekken 7 officially dies in 11 days. Hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a like if you did. Please leave a comment if I missed something, or if you want to see other things, or if you got nothing to say, leave an emoji. That helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.